criminal history background check, in-person purchase only, ID required, no online sales, and up to a 15-day waiting period to buy a 3D printer. This is the war on 3D printing. Today is the map. 5 battles across 4 states, 1 war. And if you saw our last video, you already know how real this is. We exposed Print and Go, the exact company being forced upon us. The kind of company that wants your machine to refuse a 3D print because it recognizes a file it doesn't like. So go watch it. You'll learn who is behind this massive overreach and a violation of our rights. Washington, New York, Colorado, and California. I'm going to go ahead and tell you where each state is in this fight, what the play is, what the goal is, and what it means for you, whether you've watched every video in the series or you're brand new. People hear war on 3D printing, and they assume I mean one dumb headline, one random event. That's not what this is at all. This is coordinated. It's happening across multiple states at the same time, aimed at the same pressure points, using the same tactics. They aren't just coming for your printers. They're coming for your files. They're coming for your platforms. They're coming for the ability to share designs. They're coming for the idea that you can own a tool and make what you want. And the reason it feels like it's all popped up all at once is because it did. This isn't a coincidence. It is a campaign. And stick with me all the way through to the end for information on how you can help in this fight. Also, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. That will tell the algorithm that this video is important and it'll get out there to more people. 16 states have already regulated ghost guns. 16. So the multi-state playbook idea isn't hypothetical. We've already watched this machine roll across the country once. And here's the part that drives me absolutely insane. This stuff doesn't work. Not in the real world, not the way that it's sold. Because criminals don't wake up and say, oh no, lawmakers in Olympia passed a law. I guess I'll stop doing crime today. That is not how any of this works. The people who get hit first aren't the movie villain criminals. It's the normal people, because it's the one sane hobby left in 2026. Criminals just keep being criminals. And the system, it quietly turns regular harmless people into criminals on paper because they downloaded the wrong file, they shared the wrong link, or they own the wrong tool at the wrong time. That's the trick. They don't have to stop the bad guy, they just have to make the good people scared. And once the good people are scared enough to self-censor, they win without ever having to enforce anything at scale. This is the Washington battle that matters right now. It is HB 2320. This is the one that tries to make code illegal to possess. Not a gun, not a part, but code. And not even code you use to do something illegal. It goes after the idea that code may be used to create a firearm part that can be treated like the crime itself. And it gets worse because it drags in a rebuttable assumption. That's the guilty until you are proven innocent move. The law assumes that you had the wrong intent, and now you get to prove you didn't. Think about what kind of world that creates for makers. It means a design file can become suspicious. It means a folder can become suspicious. It means that you can do everything right and still get treated like you did something wrong, because the burden shifts onto you to prove your innocence. This is where the war stops being about hardware and turns into something darker, criminalizing information. Now, here's the part that matters. We already proved something in Washington. HB 2321 died in committee. And I want you to understand what that means, because it's not just a procedural footnote. It is a battle result. It means this war isn't one-sided. It means that pressure works. It means that attention works. It means that the maker community is not powerless. But it also means something else. If bills like this can exist in the first place, if they can even get that far, then the idea is already in the bloodstream. So yes, we won that battle. HB 2321 died in committee. My content received millions and millions of views. We sent thousands upon thousands of people to Washington to contact their legislators. It works. But wars don't end because one bill dies. They evolve. They move. They try again in a different place, with a different name, with a different framing. The lesson isn't we can relax. The lesson is that we can win, but only if we treat it like a war. New York is where the word turns into something that sounds insane until you read it out loud. New York Assembly Bill A2228 is pushing the idea that you should need a criminal history background check to buy a 3D printer if it's capable of printing a firearm or components of a firearm. Read that again. The battleground isn't a firearm purchase, it's a tool purchase. And the word capable is the whole game, because capable can mean basically anything. A ton of normal 3D printers are capable of printing a ton of things. That's the point of the tool. And now they want to treat buying a 3D printer like buying a weapon. ID required, in-person purchase only, no online sales, and up to a 15-day waiting period to buy a 3D printer. A waiting period for a printer. Like someone is going to rage print a felony if we don't make them cool off for 10 to 15 days before they buy it. It's ridiculous. But New York isn't stopping at 3D printers. They're trying to sneak in mandatory G-code blocking technology as well. It's not just printers. It's CNC machines, lathes, lasers. That is not public safety. That is a censorship layer for manufacturing. A filter sitting between you and your own machine. And we already saw this move in Washington. This is the same kind of thing we beat in Washington. The same idea dressed up with a new label in a new state. And it gets even crazier because it's not just the laws, it's the pressure. There is a letter from the DA in New York pushing a company called Print and Go into the middle of all of this. Print and Go isn't even an American company. It is a Spanish company. And now you've got people in New York trying to inject a third-party software company between a designer and their invention, between a maker and their print. That's the play. You don't ban the tool, you put a gatekeeper in front of it. Think about this. Background checks, waiting periods, in-person only, and then there's the safety software that decides what you're allowed to make. And then you get voluntary compliance, because no one wants to be the store that sold the wrong tool to the wrong person. Colorado is the front where they stop pretending this is about physical objects and they go straight for the files. In Colorado, the target is the distribution and availability of the exact things makers use every day. G-code and STLs specifically for 3D printed firearms. This is what the file war actually looks like. Not, we don't like firearms, we don't like the instructions. We don't like the toolpath. We don't like the digital artifact that turns plastic into a shape. And if you think that stays limited to one category forever, you're not paying attention. You need to watch my previous videos in this series. I break this all down very clearly. Because once you normalize banning files for one thing, you've normalized banning files, period. And once files are bannable, platforms become controllable. Because California is where this war puts on a suit and walks into court. California is using lawsuits as a weapon. They're going after websites and makers for firearms parts and accessories that aren't even in California. That's the terrifying part. Controlling people outside of their state. Not just California rules for California, California pressure applied to the entire internet. This is how you control an ecosystem without passing a clean, honest ban. You pick targets that can't afford to fight forever, you create risk, you make hosting companies and payment processors flinch, you make platforms tighten policies preemptively, and suddenly the rules of one state start acting like the rules of every state because everyone is terrified of being next. Now, zoom out. Let's look at the map again. Washington, New York, Colorado, California. Different states, different headlines, different angles, same direction. This is coordinated. And yes, state attorney generals have even mentioned each other. They're not acting like this is isolated. What you're watching is a multi-state effort where each state plays a different role. Washington tests that criminalization logic and pushes the intent trap. New York builds gates around the tools themselves and pushes censorship tech into the machines. Colorado goes after the files directly. In California, weaponizes lawsuits to control the behavior beyond borders. It is the same playbook, it's just different chapters. This isn't about one printer. This is about controlling the pipeline, the files, the platforms, and the permissions. This is a war on micro-manufacturing. If you want the blunt prediction, this war escalates. Not necessarily with one dramatic bill, with more states adopting the same moves, with more lawsuits, with more pressure on platforms, with more safety language used as a crowbar to pry open control. So here's what I want this video to be for you. It's a checkpoint. If you're new, now you're caught up. If you've been here, you've watched all the videos, now you have the map that you can send people instead of arguing in the comments. And here is the line in the sand. 3D printing is not just a hobby. It's a capability. It's the ability to manufacture, to iterate, to repair, to build, to create. And if that capability becomes something that you need permission to use, if it becomes something that can be shut down or shut off remotely, if it becomes something that can be controlled by controlling files and platforms, then the maker movement is over. Not with a bang, but with a login screen. This is the war on 3D printing. It's not all doom and gloom. Here is the good news. We're not helpless. We've already proven that we can stop bills. We can push back. We can win battles. So don't tune out. Don't assume someone else will do it. Don't let them turn this community into a bunch of isolated people who are too scared to share a file or too scared to talk. Stay united. Contact your legislators. As you've seen, it makes a huge difference. That info is in the description. And of course, watch all of these videos in the series all the way through to the end and share them, because that's how it teaches the algorithm to let everyone know. If we don't defend the right to make things, we don't just lose 3D printing, we lose the future of being able to build anything at all.